Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today, I'm giddy as heck because I saw this title and I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. Should Doordash executives and white-collar employees be required to make food deliveries to customers? And I saw this and I did a skim through this article and I just lost all of it. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. It always made me smile seeing somebody experience what they experience. Like, have you ever saw somebody in a retail store? Like, they probably never worked retail in their entire lives and they're reaming out this retail worker. And then they get put in the position and experience what they've experienced. And you're just like, it sucks, doesn't it, huh? So I'm excited to read this article, and while I do not condone the actions of DoorDash, maybe this will give a little insight. DoorDash getting an understanding from the back office to the front office of how things actually are and should things change for the better on DoorDash's end. But with that said, let's get started with this article. The business world would be better off if leadership and managers were more empathetic. If a CEO really knows what it's like to work in a warehouse, fulfillment center, serving customers in a restaurant, or delivering food, they'd have a greater appreciation of the daily challenges they endure. Now, I'm gonna say yes and no to this concept altogether. Yes, you can be more empathetic on one hand. It is possible that you can absolutely be more empathetic to what's actually going on for DoorDash drivers. At the same time, for me personally, I am the opposite. I worked retail for a long time, and whenever I see somebody who, well, let's say they're not doing the job they were paid to do, and they're like, oh, I bet you never worked retail before. No, I've actually been where you've been, and I've done what you've done. When I look at you doing what I did, I'm disappointed in how little you're doing in comparison to what I did. Because I was the guy who always went above and beyond for the people that I worked for, while the other guy, I question how he still has a job. You know what I'm talking about? Like, he always came in late. He always had that musk on him, you know, when he had a good time with the good stuff, you know what I'm saying? And when I see that, and then I see somebody who was working my butt off, always early, leaving late, getting the job done quickly, and doing a full day's work in half a day, and then I'm still being paid less than the guy who came in late and high off his buttocks, it always frustrated me. That's what attracted me to gig work to begin with. I wasn't paid for the time I was there. I was paid for the work I did. But I think this statement is situational based on who you're talking to. If they think they're going to get managers and leadership that were more empathetic from just having people drive all the time, you're going to have another thing come. Rick Chen, the head of communications on Blind, the anonymous platform for millions of members to post career-related comments and opinions, shared that a verified DoorDash employee posted that a company will require all employees to deliver at least one order each month beginning 2022. Hold on, they gotta do one a month. You're not gonna get any kind of empathy from that. Online responses range from shock and dismay to saying this is a smart and empathetic program. It isn't necessarily smart or empathetic. I think you're just telling people to do something that they shouldn't have to do. And not to mention, this is going to cause a lot of challenges for the back office, not just people in general. And what's the repercussions if you choose not to do that order? Like, let's say in August, you don't do any orders. Now what? Are they going to cherry pick like we do? Or are they going to do crap orders that no one wants? The initiative called WeDash is mandatory for all employees, including the CEO and executives. Ah, so you can actually run into Tony's shoe and kick him in the balls. I'm sorry, but that's the first thing I think of. If I was a DoorDash driver still, because I was wrongfully deactivated, that would be one of my first forms of business. I would just go right up to him and boom! That's what you get for wrongfully deactivating me. Now, I do want to be clear, I do not actually condone violence. That was a joke. Do not do that. But at the same time, I understand why you would want to. There are some exemptions. There we go. You're gonna get a whole list of exemptions. Here we go. Employees can work in chat support for customers or merchants instead. In addition, they can to making food deliveries, employees will be reviewed based on their performance. The Deliveries app's goal is to allow employees to understand and empathize with the experience of the delivery person. But are they really going to, is the question. And not to mention, how many of them will just decide, you know what, let me just be a chat support person? Because we know that's gonna happen. The WeDash program powers DoorDash employees by bringing them directly to the heart of the consumer, merchant, and dasher. By engaging as a dasher, supporting a merchant, or shadowing a customer experience agent. Employees learn firsthand how the technology products the company builds empowers local economies, which in turn help create better products. Now, here's something interesting that they stated here. By shadowing a customer experience agent. The customer experience agents are all based in the Philippines. They outsource all of their customer experience agents, specifically customer experience and dasher support, to the Philippines. How well is this shadowing actually going to be? Supporting a merchant, like how are you going to support the merchant? Like, is it supporting a merchant by engaging as a dasher? Because I know that merchant support is actually based in Texas. Are you going to go all the way out to Texas for this? And engaging as a dasher, are you going to have bases across the country? Or are you going to have a base specifically in California where you're based? WeDash is DoorDash's flagship employee engagement program to gain firsthand training experience using their technology and products. The company believes when employees have regular exposure to the three-sided marketplace, they are better able to think outside the box, to understand the customer's toughest challenges, and be an owner in help solving. Employees gain the firsthand knowledge by earning credits throughout the year via 3 training experiences: WeDash, WeSupport, and WeMerchant. Can we just take an acknowledgement of earning credits throughout the year? I remember going to an office one day because I got the text about DoorDash Drive starting up their catering program. And I remember going to the DoorDash office asking them about it. And I remember sitting and talking with the employee for a bit. And he was talking about how he wasn't really making a lot of money working in the office. And me, being the smart ass that I am, just said, not making enough money. Dude, you work in a DoorDash office. Just sign yourself up and go. No, because apparently they have a policy where you're either a W-2 employee or a 1099 worker. So there's no in between. So them actually working as a DoorDash driver, they're not earning money. They're earning credits throughout the year. That's probably where they're frustrated. They're probably thinking, I'm doing more work than all of these other people dashing and working throughout the day. And they're just still working to ungrateful customers, trying to fulfill all the orders that we're not taking because there was no tip. And they're just earning credits. They're probably not earning much in money at all. I guess I can understand it how an employee would actually be really frustrated about that. DoorDash contends when employees have regular first-hand training experience inside the three-sided marketplace, they're better able to understand the customers and demonstrate bias for action in identifying and escalating roadblocks. That's all you guys have ever done. It was make roadblocks and making more problems for customers. So why is that something that you're caring about now? Keep in mind, this is a program that they had in 2018. They're reinstating it now. Be an owner and expert on the products and logistics infrastructure that powers our business. I do want to actually talk about this term. Be an owner. They want you to be an owner without actually getting the payment and the compensation that an owner would get. What, you think that Tony Hsu's gonna be like, how about you take some of my $413 million salary while you're at it? No, Tony's not gonna be like that. They never have been. Stay humble and in touch with our three-sided marketplace and the day-to-day experiences of our audiences, consumers, dashers, merchants, and take pride in what we're building by seeing firsthand the impact DoorDash can have in our local communities. If you actually talk to a person and ask them how they feel about DoorDash, you'll get one of two responses. I don't really feel anything about them. I don't use DoorDash. Or I hate DoorDash. Very few times where they'll be like, man, I love DoorDash. Wanna know why? Because no one actually likes DoorDash. Talk to a merchant. They actually would prefer not to work with DoorDash. They work with Uber Eats and Grubhub. And I'm specifically talking about the 3 marketplaces that I normally dealt with. They did not like DoorDash. They love Uber Eats. They loved Grubhub. Uber Eats was pretty good about getting to the merchants in time. They were okay with Grubhub. Grubhub was always kind of one of those, like, they're just on the same level as DoorDash when it comes to getting people there on time. But they don't like DoorDash. Keep that to be very clear. WeDash was previously paused for safety because of the pandemic, but beginning in January 2022, it will be restarted. The policy serves several purposes. It will let tech engineers and other well-paid professionals understand what it's like for the food delivery person. They'll have an understanding of somewhat of the challenges they face. Similar to walking in someone's shoes, the white-collar professionals will drive or ride a mile in a worker's car or bicycle. I just would love to see them go from work in a suit and just go door dashing. I know that some people actually do, but damn, that would be too funny. By actually picking up food at a crowded restaurant, then quickly bringing it to a customer's home, dealing with traffic, irate customers, and getting lost, the office and remote employees will gain valuable insights and empathy towards these generally lower paid workers. By seeing what happens in the real world, it may help them with their own jobs, armed with this new real world experience. The responses from the site were mixed, with many angry and upset over the new DoorDash policy. Is it really considered new, or is it just reinstated? Here are some examples of the responses by both DoorDash and blind members affiliated with an array of other companies. D-Dasher. Mandatory WeDash starts from next year. You need to dash once a month. Will be tracked in performance reviews. What the actual F? I didn't sign up for this. There was nothing in the offer letter or job description about this. Yeah, so if they weren't informed originally and now they're getting this forced upon them, how many of their employees are actually going to still be with the company? Stonk Nibba. Can't tell if it's serious or troll. If serious, then what the F? Not acceptable in any way. Amen. Zunguro wasn't against my interest. I voluntarily signed up. I'm young, healthy, unlikely to be at risk from COVID. Why not help deliver food and stuff to those who are stuck at home? The money was negligible, not even noticeable compared to the TC or investment swings, but the internal karma, the feel-good feelings, more than made up for it. Whose ass are you kissing, bro? I could just feel the brown just on your nose. Oh my God. Like, okay, I understand that there are people that are more charitable by nature, but seeing this, oh my God. Kryptonite. Empathy for your customers, Dashers, and restaurants is a good thing. Would be awesome to see Dashers paired with engineers and product managers on these ride-alongs, an opportunity to learn from each other. How is this a bad thing? Might help DD product and engineering teams better understand and empathize with the challenges faced by Dashers. Reminds me how Tony Hesse had all new Zappos employees, regardless of level or role, operate those phones when they started. Would be dope if Uber and Lyft followed suits with their employees. Like, it's one thing for people to run the phones for a while. I actually am all for that. But you're expecting people to deliver in their own vehicles. Panda 319, what a fantastic push from leadership to be more customer-centric. It both makes sure all employees understand the process firsthand, and it will increase attrition for the employees that really only give up blank about the paycheck, not the company's mission. Well played, leadership. This is actually just gonna piss more people off than anything else. This is brown nose. New York site doesn't seem that bad. Devs get to relate to Dasher experience, figure out what features they might need to build next, and generally know how their product works in action. On top of that, you're making tons of money anyway. People on Blind have massive egos. Making a delivery isn't going to kill you. Get off your high horses, please. By the way, way, not at DD, and never been at DD. Also believe company eval is overinflated. Regardless, this particular thing isn't crazy. Crazy? No. Hilarious? Yes. ENG Microsoft. Making a delivery might literally... Okay. I love how this one just came right after making a delivery isn't gonna kill you. So that was amazing. Whoever wrote this article, great job. I love it. Making a delivery might literally kill you if you get carjacked and shot. I kind of want to see this happen and see of the family sue the company for like $1 billion and win, just so no company ever gets a stupid idea like this again. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that DoorDash got away with it, my friend. I hate to tell you. I would love to see them get sued for $1 billion. I would love to see the fall of DoorDash, but they've gotten away with this more than once. SF8 Roz, 100% with Microsoft on this one. Things I never thought I'd say, lol. I have respect for delivery drivers. I always tip properly when I order delivery. I understand it's a hard job, putting yourself at risk physically, beating the blank out of your car, risking that if you get in an accident, then many are essentially uninsured because the appropriate insurance costs too much, and I doubt DoorDash is going to provide it or pay for people to get it for this mandatory delivery work. But that's why I choose not to do that work. If for whatever reason I was unable to work in tech, I still have other skill sets that would provide easier, safer, more lucrative work. I hate to sound like a butthole, but I made sure I got a good education and built up marketable skills so I wouldn't have to have a Mick job like that. But one I could do from home or an office that doesn't involve physical risk. Okay, so one thing I'm going to state about what he said is, yes, he has a lot of marketable skill sets, and I understand that what DoorDash and all this gig work is not necessarily high-level skills, and I 100% agree with that point. However, he makes it sound like the only way that you can like avoid having this problem is by getting a good education and getting a degree or whatever. That is one area that I will 100% disagree with. Not necessarily stating that his way is the wrong way, but it's not the only way. 50% of gig workers are entrepreneurs, and their goal is to use gig work such as DoorDash, such as Uber, such as Grubhub, in order to fund their businesses that they're rising with. So I think it's a little uninformed on his end, but that being said, there's no real way he can know that unless the gig worker actually told them. CL4P, interesting idea though. Following the same line of thought, everybody at Amazon will have to work at a warehouse once a month. Everybody at dating services will have to find a one-nighter every month. Oh my. Everybody at Uber or Lyft will have to taxi once a month. Everybody at Airbnb will have to rent their living room once a month. I feel like this is something Chris Payne did while he worked at Tinder. Like, hey, let's have them find empathy by using the dating app once a month. Oh my god. GSXL87. Ridiculous how many of you think you're above experiencing your own product and end user. Sit down and be humble. You're not any better than the person making 10% your salary. You're all working for the capitalists who own everything. This is why I hated Silicon Valley and left after a year and a half. So much classism and elitism, so much snobbery, so much obsession over status. What if someone sees me delivering food in my Tesla like a poor Mexican? Okay, first of all, that's racist. There is actually a lot of people who would prefer to work in an electric car to save money on gas. This whole thread and Silicon Valley in general is a self-parody. It's unbelievable. Kudos to DoorDash for knocking some of those prima donnas down a peg. And also for realizing there are obvious UX problems that an engineer will realize very quickly if they had to use the app for a whole hour. I don't know if it's about status so much as being imposed something that they didn't sign up for. This is an amazing progress, empathetic, forward-thinking program that provides for an illuminating exercise to enable well-paid white-collar workers to gain an appreciation and learn from the struggles of low-wage, app-based contractors. In the holiday spirit, proceeds from this program will be donated to charity. That's my point. Like, they're not getting paid for this. This is just charity work to them. I think this is actually really messed up how they're doing this to the white collar workers. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. I think their goal with this is not necessarily to force Doordash employees, like the employee side of things, the corporate side of things, to gain a sense of empathy. I think they are realizing from the amount of Twitter comments, from the amount of challenges DoorDash has as a whole for completing no-tip deliveries, they're understanding that they're not getting the work done through just gig workers. They're getting it done through employees, and those manipulation tactics that they've been using since basically the moment they turned it off aren't working as well as they first intended, and now they're going to be sending them off into work these orders. This isn't something they signed up for, and while I'm laughing at the concept that they get a little peg back, this isn't something that they've ever worked with. Like, this is, if they wanted to be a DoorDash driver, they can sign up on the app. Well, actually, no, they can't, but because of the whole W-2 1099 thing. But the fact that this is they're forcing this upon the employees, that's pretty messed up. I don't think this is going to bring so much empathy, but more resentment from the employees to the company itself. You're probably going to see a lot of churning from employees, like people actually wanting to leave the company and move on to others, such as Uber or Grubhub. But who knows? Maybe they'll just leave the industry entirely. Be an owner? They're not being paid like an owner. This is a lot of the things that they're saying here are fun things you could write on a wall in an office. I do want to say this. If you do happen to find an executive doing a DoorDash order, see if they're wearing a jockstrap. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.